stations are tuned in too.
Welcome to the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
All right, thank you for standing by. It's Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. All right, time check right now is 8:43 a.m. It's time for Mainland Focus, and that's the part where you get to be part of the conversation. You share your submission or your own analysis as regards to two major stories that we're going to be looking through this morning. Okay, so I still have Fouad somewhere on the phone line, still on standby, who would also share his own thoughts as regards the two major points. And then before we open up the phone line for you to share your views, we're still live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, so you can drop your comments in the live chat section and we'll take them as the show progresses. My name still remains Omobola Sandra. All right, we're taking our stories off the front pages of The Punch and The Guardian newspaper. The first is as regards, this very interesting conversation coming on the front page of The Punch, where we have here 2027 APC kicks as PDP backs call for Jonathan's return. What do you make of this story? Would the PDP be making a wise decision by picking Jonathan in 2027? Fuad, I don't know if you remember, I think, last year when, there was a conversation around the fact that some people bought form for Jonathan to, run on the platform of the APC.
And there was a back and forth on that,
Is it true? Is it not true? Is it true? Is it not true?
But it was, at that time, even below Jonathan, the former president, was making moves that suggested that he was
his actions were very, very ambiguous, so you can't really say
what he was doing, what he wanted to do or not.
All right, well, what about political calculations to this decision, especially as Fuhad had rightly permutated or analyzed earlier on as regards the fact that the South needs to complete its 8 years, and
that's what some northern political guys are saying.
All right, and then the big question, or the bigger question for me, would be: would you even advise Jonathan to run in 2027? Do you think it would be wise for him, because he only has one term? So even if he comes on, he has already done 4 years earlier on after the Yar'Adua administration. So he only has 4 years. Do you think it would be wise for him to come in, and do you think he'll be able to do anything significant or provide any value in that, or in those 4 years? So would you even advise him to run at all? All right, let's have a conversation around it, and let's not be like what's going on in the US at the moment, where someone had to run and say, oh no, I don't think you can do this, please just step down. And interestingly, things that have been going really well for Kamala Harris. Yesterday, she got the backing of the powerhouse Obama, which was quite an interesting turn. But then, still on the focus, APC kicks as PDP backs call for Jonathan to return. What do you make of this story? The second focal point is taken off the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Duty forex rates shift 100 times in 2024 and has spiked rates of goods by 120%. What do you think about the inconsistency in duty rates? 100 times in 2024 alone, 70 times in the first half. We're in the second half of 2024, and in the second half we spent just 2 months, all right, July and August, and within July and August it has shifted 30 times. 30. Okay. So, and we still have about 4 months to go. We still have about 4 months to go in the year, and this particular inconsistency has led to quite a lot of inconvenience for for importers. Uncertainty, low importation, a price spiral, and it has thrown out some people's jobs as well. And if the current trend continues, it will be difficult for even the importers to get goods off their shelves, because now they would have to pay, they would have to charge, they would have to charge way even more than what it is. So as it is, importers have suffered significant losses. It's causing the cost of goods to surge, even for consumers as well. So what do you think about the inconsistency in the duty rate with this revenue driven customs services. Let's have a conversation around that as well. What do you think of the customs overzealousness in recent times in trying to make more money for the country, also against the backdrop of the very stringent guidelines that was given as regards import duty taking off some food items? So how bad do you think this is affecting businesses, generally speaking? How bad do you think this is generally affecting businesses? Fouad, over the weekend I was in Keke, and some people were having a conversation because one trailer just passed us and said, "Look at that trailer now. To clear that trailer alone, you're going to spend at least 15 million naira." And
container.
Yes, that's a trailer. Okay, yes, container. And then you know that even through Lagos, there are still some other people that you still need to see, aside from the customs guys. So there's just a lot that importers and manufacturers are going through. At this time. And then you also have those manufacturers who are importing raw products to be able to make certain things, especially the pharmaceuticals. So it's a serious conversation. So, Fouad, let's get your thoughts before we open the phone line.
Well, the Jonathan story, I think for now it's just political consideration. I think the issue of capacity to govern and deliver is not on the table for these guys who are throwing up this possibility. The PDP has to do something with it. I think the PDP is checking and rechecking. Again, when I say the PDP, it has to be a faction of the PDP because it's not a party that is talking in unison. That's a party disarray, quote and unquote. So it must be a faction of the PDP that is looking at the option of Jonathan. Even though there are a lot of political pundits who have said that, look, the PDP should begin to look at the option of Jonathan, so that this idea of the South completing 8 years would make sense, so that at least the North knows that, look, after 8 years, the North can get back to power again, because Jonathan can only take 4 years. So, but again, I don't know if the PDP will be able to pull this through. My mind even tells me that if the PDP is not careful, as predicted it before, it's the APC that will choose a candidate for them the way they are going, because it's a party that has not been able to take some very decisive, decisions. They've not been able to. For example, I don't understand how the PDP feels comfortable with a yes on weekend, for example, and they have not been able to deal with that clog in the wheel of their party.
Isn't there a reconciliation committee that was first, headed by Bukola Saraki, and now more recently headed by what's the other governor guy name? So isn't there a
the
former governor of Osun State? Isn't there a
the PDP is used to forming this idea of setting up committee for something that you can do. Actually, the troublemakers within the party. All you need to do is to call them up into a room, ensure that their security in case they need to bust themselves.